top of that. So, you know, talking to my cousin, she's my great cousin, but talking to her and her husband, you know, they gave us the idea. They use like a certain website that will give you like a high range for pricing, um, and then a low range. And he said, you know, if anybody falls within that range, like 30% less than the highest range, then he pretty much just hires them. Um, they're interesting. Like I was saying,
let me ask you this right quick. Because I want to answer the first question. You said, how do you know if you're paying too much? So how many bids did you get?
So technically we didn't get any because we just been having our family do it.
Like, so you're trying to see if your family is overcharging.
Yeah, because there's like I said, there's
I can answer that question for you.
Like, yeah.
Hey, listen, I can answer that question for you because I'd have been there, done that. I can write a book for it and got a T-shirt for it. Chances are the answer is yes. Chances are the answer is yes. So this is how you. So this is one thing, and oh man, I wish Vic was up here right now because we got some stories to share. But here's one thing.
Andrea said, "Don't do it."
No. I'm not gonna say that. But this is what you have to understand. All right, when you're doing business, regardless of who you're doing it with, it's business, right? So Andrea can tell you one of my sayings is, "It's all business, nothing personal," right? And I have a great way of separating the two, right? And so you have to be able to separate your personal feelings from business,
right?
Okay, meaning we can have a very strong conversation, close to heated business conversation, but it's not going to impact my love for you or how I treat you personally. Like I can literally separate the two very well, praise God. All right, so I say all that to say this is that so I had a family member that was my go-to painter, right? My go-to painter. And what happened was over time, he would start, increasing prices, right? Now, I know how much, but this is how you know when somebody's paying you, especially when you're only using one person. You get bids, and at least 3, right? So when you start getting at least 3 bids, then what you're and you have to, you don't want to be going to the white pages and just getting people that's in, or the yellow pages. I mean, white pages, but you don't want to just go to the yellow pages or go to Google just to look for contractors and just go with the first 3 that you use. Especially when you use licensed contractors that are insured
and
just know that you're going to pay that fee. Like that's going to be more on a higher end, right? So just know that. Now, of course, they have insurance and backing, right? But just know that's going to be more on the higher end. So what you do is you get multiple bids. You have somebody come in, give you a price, and you never communicate your budget. Never, ever, ever tell somebody what your budget is because they're going to spend every penny of it plus more, right? So have them come in, tell them what you want done, right? And then they give you their number, okay? Now, the other person comes in and they're going to give you a number, right? And you're either going to say, yo, that first person just really overpriced me, or they gave me an amazing deal, right? And then you have the third person come in and do the exact same thing. Now you have 3 numbers, right? The lowest number doesn't always mean it's the best person to go with, though. Because, you may want to check references. You may want to look at previous jobs to see what the quality of their work is, right? So what I did with a family member was, and to be honest with you, I stopped using them after this because, he felt like he was giving me a deal, right? And so, I'm a fan of cutting out the middleman. Well, one, you're not even here all the time. You dropping people off. Right. So I get it. It's your business. All right, cool. I'm not knocking that, but I'm not about to be paying a middleman. Somebody, we're not about to do that. Right. So it got to a point to where I just had to try my hand with somebody else that didn't have here's the thing. He didn't really have, I had to get my own paint sprayer because the guy didn't have his own equipment. But
Right. That's where we are.
I tried my hand to see, what his quality of work was like, right? Like, hey, what's me spending $200 on a paint spray? That probably saved me $2,000, right? So guy ended up paying up good. And I mean, what I pay him is probably, we're paying him half the price of what we would have been paying, right? So you got to get multiple bids if you want to keep people honest. And then once you get those bids, then you can come back. Let's say you got to bid for 1,500, 2,000, and 2,500, right? You can come back to all of them and say, listen, I got multiple bids, but this is what we're going to pay. We're willing to pay $1,000. All right. So now you're coming under all those bids. And either they're going to say, yeah, they'll take it. Right. Most people, if they know that you got multiple jobs going on and they want to be in with you, they'll take it.
Right.
Right. But if they're already
then there's consistent work.
Right, because it's consistent work. But if they're already busy and their schedule is fully loaded, then they'll just bypass it and be like, nah, I'm good. Right. So that's just something for you to keep in mind.
I wish I knew how to do all this stuff.
I just told you how.
I'm talking about the work, the labor.
Oh, no, you don't. You really want to learn how to scale.
Yeah.
Right? You really, I mean, it's great to know how to do a little bit. Like, I used to be the demo king when it comes to demoing a house, but now you want to be able to scale. It's good to know how, yes, but it's not good to have to do it.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, my dad, he used to, he was a construction man. Like, he always, when we bought, well, not we, when my parents bought their second house, he renovated the whole thing by himself. I mean, it was like holes in the floor, typically what I'm looking for now, and I always tell people I was my dad's first son because I would go on jobs with him and do construction work. I'm painting and, watching him. I was right next to him doing all that stuff. And I thought maybe within the past year or two, I said, why didn't I pursue that? I think I thought for a woman, that wasn't a woman's job. You know what I mean? But I'm like, if I would have pursued that, I would have been ahead of the game. But yeah, I used to do that. I'm like, I gave a how-to speech on how to install in high school, a how-to speech on how to install an electrical socket. So I'm like, I have the background knowledge, and because he was so particular, I know what I'm looking for. There are some things I felt like my husband might oversee it. I'm like, oh no, this isn't right. Or, you know what I mean? So I do have that. But I'm like, man, I should have pursued it. So, we can, so I'm like, I'll do it. Something simple. Not I'm not trying to build a house from the ground up, but, hang some drywall, putty some, things. But yeah, that's where I am for this week. But this week I'm getting on it for real. I'm coming down.
So you met a family member, right? So what happened? What was the end result of that?
So we talked about what we had going on. They talked about what they currently have going on. Right now, their funds are a little tied up because they have, multiple projects. So they have. So basically, my cousin is doing what you all are doing in Virginia, but she's doing it up here in Pennsylvania because she went to her hometown. It was basically just it's just not the same. Things are falling apart. Housing market's down, low tax rate, or tax income coming from taxes really low. So that because there's not a strong tax base, things aren't getting repaired. So she's working on rebuilding her hometown up here, although she lives in North Carolina. So my cousin, her husband has a construction company. So they bring their men to Pennsylvania and they come up here and work on the houses. And then they've been working with the city to, get decent rates for people to get in the homes. But she's like, I just want to rebuild, help build my hometown up. So they talked about what, like I said, what they're doing, we're doing. But because they're busy right now and they have their funds tied up in certain things, we're looking out maybe within 4 months, maybe we're going to reschedule. We decided we're going to do monthly meetings to discuss where we are in the process. And then JV on a project that they were looking to start in North Carolina. So that's where we are now. We're just waiting it out. And like I said, our hands are tied a little bit right now, especially once we get this electricity finished being split, because we're waiting for some type of part. I don't know what it's called, but waiting for some part that needs to come in. So that's kind of holding us up because the production or whatever, and with COVID and everything is behind. But then once all that gets finished, and the guys can finish drywalling and all that good stuff. So yeah, so we're kind of waiting it out, but we said we're going to start meeting weekly, or excuse me, monthly, just to see where we are. Because they were like, yeah, if you need help with anything, we're here. So it was just nice. And I was telling them about our group, and I told my cousin, you should, if you got time, join the call. She, has experience, but there's always room to learn new things, so she can share her experience and then she can learn from everyone in the group. So yeah, so that was our conversation. It was a good conversation. Um, I learned more, like I said, as far as that stuff, and just she's like, go to what's that called? Like try to attend like different community development programs to see what they have going on, and she's like, my husband, he talks to a lot of politicians. He goes to a lot of networking events. So she was like, that's good because now you're getting to know people who can make decisions in the area. So yeah, that was pretty much the bulk of our conversation.
Okay, that's good. That's what's up. All right, Laisha, that's the big week for you. Talk to me. Talk to us. What's going on? If you can, Laisha, share. I want you to share with everybody what happened. So come on, fill us in.
What happened with us?
No, with that hard money lender.
Oh my God. Okay, so good morning, guys. So I went. You for real? You want me to share it, Dominic?
Listen, you're going. I need you to share it so you can keep somebody else from making that same mistake.
Okay, so, gotcha. I got you. All right, so guys, I went to a hard money lender to start my renovation for the investment property on County Street. So before I went to this particular hard money lender, which I found in the Women's Flip 2 group, I reached out to two hard money lenders. Now, my business started last year, so I don't have a lengthy history of payments coming in, things that your traditional hard money lenders will require you to have as a business owner. So I did not meet the requirements for the two hard money lenders that I hold on, guys. Go ahead.
So while you doing that, let me give them let me picture real quick, Laisha, for them. All right, I'm gonna paint the picture real quick. All right, so they can understand. So Laisha found this property, and she put it under contract for her first investment deal. First looking to do a flip. Now she's looking to keep it as a buy and hold and just rent it out the rooms and really maximize on her income. It's a large property. All right. So I just want y'all to understand that she did use a hard money lender so she obtained financing for the purchase and the renovations. But with any hard money lender that you're using, they're going to, fund it, but you have to at least get the project started and then get reimbursed. All right. So I wanted to be some clarity on that. But all right, go ahead now. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, I spoke to the third hard money lender, which is Allen Financial Services out of Texas, supposedly out of Texas. We got things going as far as getting the paperwork done. I spoke with Mr. Allen over the phone regarding the process when I was out of town in March. So I signed the paperwork. I had to pay closing costs. I had to pay a processing fee. And then I had to pay another additional cost, which I'll get to that one a little bit later. But guys, to make a long story short, so I have been waiting to receive the funding, which was $25,000. That's the amount that I had requested. So they told me we're going to they had to create an account for me. So once they created the account, I was able to log in. I could see the $25,000. I could see the closing costs that I sent to them. And then this was another thing, guys. They this individual who is now supposedly an imposter, this individual does not have the funding of his own. He is working with supposedly another bank, which is not a U.S. bank at all. It's not a U.S. bank. So they were giving me a hard time because they were requiring me to pay more money in order for me to transfer the $25,000 into my bank account. So once I started the transfer process of transferring the $25,000 from the account they created for me into my bank account, they wanted more money. So once you start the transfer process, I got up to like 47%. Once I got up to 47%, it stopped. And it told me that I needed a IRS tax code. So I was like, IRS, I sent them a message. IRS will never ask me to pay anything online. I'm going to wait until Monday morning to call IRS. And they told me that, well, we're doing everything on our end. This is a fee because your money is coming inland, and there are fees that the bank need to pay. So basically, okay, I was like, okay, what I'm going to do? What am I going to do? Because I really want to get started on this renovation. And I called Mr. Allen. So Mr. Allen's like, okay, whatever the bank is requiring you to do everything that the bank is requiring to do. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, let me see what I can do, because I really need to get started on this renovation. So I got the money. I sent them $3,700, guys, $3,700. So once I sent the money, they gave me the code in order to continue to transfer. So the first code they sent me, I was like, this code is not working. The code is not working. So it was like, hold on. We're going to walk you through everything, trying to console me. That way I will not blow up on them. So I was like, this code is not working. And I was trying to get them to kind of, push and give me, make things right, because I needed to get started on the renovation. So they sent me the code. The ending number was incorrect. So once they sent me the code, I put the code in, the transfer continued. So I was like, okay, finally, I'm going to be able to transfer this $25,000 over to my bank account. So once it got to 70%, it stopped again. It would not let me continue the transfer. And so I reached out to them, and they was like, well, we're in a board meeting. We're in a board meeting right now. I'll get back to you once we're out of the meeting. And actually, it took them hours to get back to me. I think they actually responded the next day and was like, okay, well, in order to complete your transfer, you're going to have to send $4,900. And I was like, oh no, absolutely not. So I contacted Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen we was playing phone tags. So when he finally got back to me, he was like, well, whatever the bank is requiring you to do it, da, 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 da. So I told him, I said, Mr. Allen, my contract was with Allen Financial Services, not City's First Bank. I said, all these additional fees that they are requiring me to pay is not part of the contract that I signed with you. And I told him that. And so I decided that I was not going to send another dime. And I told him that, and I requested my money back. So I said, per the contract, I'm going to send this certified letter. I'm going to send a certified letter, and I want my money back. So he said, okay, Ms. Williams, we're going to go ahead and start the process to send you your money back. Okay, so Saturday, so I sent the letter certified on a Monday, and Saturday I received the letter from an attorney's office claiming, an attorney's office claiming to represent the actual Andrew Allen of Allen Financial Services. So in this letter, the attorney told me that Mr. Allen, the actual Mr. Allen, who's the victim, has been the victim of these imposters, which is what they are calling the people that I've been in communication with. So these people have copied contracts word from words. They have what else? They have got a hold of the SEC information online of the actual Allen Financial Services. And they've copied their information because I went and looked them up on the website to make sure they were legit. The attorney told me they copied all of the information. They have their the actual person's home address. The address on the contract is the actual Allen Financial business address. So he emailed the attorney, and then that's how the attorney actually sent me the letter, and I spoke with her. So now they have detectives involved. They have the Secret Service involved with these people. So what I've been doing is keeping it cool with these so-called imposters because I want my money back. That's it. I just want my money back. And they have been just going along with everything. They don't know that I've been in contact with detectives and actually the police here in the state of Virginia. So they told me that they're going to send me cash, guys. And because they wanted me to create an account, open up a Discover account. And I told them no. I said as quickly, and never do this, guys. As I told them, as quickly as I sent my money to you guys, I want y'all to be quick and have Godspeed and send me my money back. And I told them exactly how I wanted all my money to be sent back. I told them I was not going. They can't hear. Oh, I told them I was not going to send no money to y'all. I'm not opening up no credit account, no Discover account. I'm not doing any of that. So I said, matter of fact, I'm calling Mr. Allen. So they sent me a text. Okay, ma'am, we're gonna send you your money back. We can't. First, it was like we can't send it to you online. I was like, well, every bank is associated with Zelle. Send it through Zelle. You don't need no account information. All you need is my email address. Just send me my money back. So to make a long story short, guys, they sent me a tracking number from for some type of military post office or something, which we looked at online. It is a legit post office. So I'm supposed to be receiving my money back today. Because I told them we was able to look up the tracking information online on my cell phone. But when I went to actual computer to enter the information, it wasn't coming up. So they said, it was like, ma'am, please be patient. It's not a business day. So I'm supposed to be getting my money back today by this evening. So they supposed to overnight it my money to me. So don't do that again, guys. Just try to speak with whoever you can to get things going. And I didn't know because I just knew I needed to get the renovation started. And I really wanted to get things going, but this was definitely not the experience that I imagined or I dreamed or I hoped to have, but it's something that I went through. And going forward, I would never do this again because it's very scary. And so the people are still acting like they are the actual Allen Financial Services. So yeah, they said I'll be getting my money back today. So we'll see how that goes. So that has been my experience with this whole thing, guys.
Thank you for sharing, Laisha, because I want you to share that so those of you watching can understand that there are people that scams out here, right? And so you just got to be very mindful of that. But for me, a red flag was when Laisha mentioned to me that they told her that she needed to send them money, right? we all have received those types of emails. I've come into this settlement of such and such. All this stuff go to my spam, by the way, but such and such millions of dollars. And if you send me $100, I'll send you X, Y, Z. Like, when you have to send somebody money to receive money, that should be a red flag by itself, right? But also, when it comes to you closing, you bring money to the closing table. You pay the attorney, okay? You're paying the attorney, and so that was a red flag. But I'm just glad that she was able to do her private investigation and find out some things about the transaction, so she can get her funds back. So that's yeah. Anybody else want to add anything to that? Anybody want to share anything?
Yeah, there are a lot of deceptive people. I guess I can say I've had some close calls with the hard money lenders, but I kept asking, like I berated them with questions, to their annoyance. But when I'm doing any deal, I try to make sure that I'm sure, and I'll get my attorney or anybody else who's competent to try to look over my shoulder to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. But people are very deceptive. People are going to try to get over on you or us. So we just have to be vigilant in that. We have to question everything. These people aren't your friend. The Dominic said it before, business is business, personal is personal. So anytime money is passing through your hand, that's always going to be business in this regard. So thank you for sharing that story. It's very helpful. We all will think, oh, that'll never happen to me until it actually does. So it's good to pay attention to these stories and, learn and grow so that we don't fall into those traps.
And another thing, when you're dealing with a bank, I would say do your own research on your bank, because I looked this bank up and I could not anywhere in the United States. So when I contacted the imposter, I said, well, I've done my research and I cannot find this bank anywhere in the United States, because there was never a number for the bank. And I kept requesting a number to actually speak with somebody over the phone, because I got tired of sending emails to this bank and they would never give me a number. And I was told by Mr. Allen that, they're a private lender. Even private lenders have phone numbers. I'm just tired of, emailing, these people. But yeah, so what they did was they created an account, and these people are smart. They created an entire account. I don't know if that was an actual account, but I could see the 25,000. I could see the closing cost amount that I sent, and they were like, the money that I sent is refundable. It's all refundable. Basically, you just have to transfer the money back over to you. But lesson learned, and they're still going on as if they're still impersonating this man, which the actual individual has no experience with real estate investment, none of that. That's not what his actual business does. So their website is still up. The attorney told me because there was no physical harm done to the actual businessman, that is really nothing that the police can do about it. So now the attorney has went a step further, and they are working with detectives and the FBI. They've sent consumer protection letters. They have a FBI report. There is a lot going on with them. So I told her, I said, whatever I can do to, cooperate and just stay cool through this process, whatever I can do to help you guys to hopefully catch them, then I don't mind, because this is, how they're taking advantage of people it's not right, but I told her, I said, they told me they were going to give me my money back. So I'll just keep you updated. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated. because I'm supposed to be getting the money back today. So I'll make sure I keep you guys updated on that.
Hey, quick question. If any of your personal information was transferred or if they acquired any of your personal information, do you have like any identity theft protection?
Well, I called when I called my bank, they told me that that they could not, because they do have a zero liability, a zero fraud liability, but it only applies to like debit transactions. So they told me because it was a peer-to-peer transfer, then they would not be able to transfer me. They wouldn't be able to give me my money back. But when I spoke with the detective told me that it is a way that you can get your money back. But and another thing, guys, I didn't tell you this. I actually called the bank. That my money supposed to went to. So it was a JP Morgan Chase bank. So when I called Chase, I spoke to their protection team, and she was like, she's like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry." This before she told me that, she asked me if I had the account information, the name of the individual. So I told her, I provided that information to her. So she was like, "Ma'am," she was like, "I'm so sorry," but she was like, "This account is not even open." She said, "This account is not even open." She said, "Your money is in limbo right now." She's like, "I can't even tell you where your money is." But she was like, "This account, the account that they gave you to transfer the money to," she said, "the account is not open." So she was like, "I do apologize. I'm so sorry." She was like, "I deal with this on a regular basis." She said, contact your authorities," which I did here in Virginia. And she said, "Tell them what happened." And she was like, "They will know what to do." I said, "Is it a certain number that I give them?" She said, "No." She said, "They will know exactly what to do." So you can get your money back. The detective was like, if it was maybe like a week or two, then Secret Service can help you out. But I just found out about this. So I'm waiting to hear back from the police, because they have to make a decision whether they're going to escalate it and send it to the supervisor. And if they do escalate it and send it to the supervisor, they'll hand it over to a detective, and then the detective will contact me. But yeah, so that's another thing. You can actually call the bank if somebody is telling you to transfer money over. Before you do that, now, lesson learned from me, you can call the bank, provide the account number, and they would tell you if it is an actual account or not. Just another precaution to take. But I'm quite sure a regular hard money lender wouldn't wouldn't put you through what I had to experience. So the only information they needed they said they needed a copy of my bank account to verify, my history and things like that. And I did advise them that, this is how long I've been in business. So all I have to do is just call the bank, because the bank, they are sending me out new cards. They're sending me out, new bank account information. So that's the only thing I could say was compromised, was my bank account. So yeah, but all that information is being changed. So yeah.
Laisha, I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. That's like one of my biggest fears. We have a few Facebook pages up here, like Pittsburgh real estate, Pittsburgh wholesaling, and I always see, people making posts like, "Oh, I'm a hard money lender. You can contact me, or do you want to? If anybody wants to JV this project," and there are like people sending their email address, and I'm like, I'm skeptical of everything already. So I'm like, I can't do it. And I'm like, at the same time, something's like, oh, try it, because, I'm trying to, really get off the ground with this. But I'm like, I don't believe anything. I get so many scam calls in a day. One, because, well, my iPhone, does the scam likely, but my house phone is forwarded to my cell phone. So I get like double the scam calls. I don't believe anything now. Like, so I'm praying that you get your money back in the next hour, because
yes,
I'd be sick.
just,
And out of $40, I was so mad for months. I couldn't imagine.
It's a scary feeling because I told Dom this. I was like, you know how you have that feeling, like you keep saying you keep saying, I hope. That's all I kept saying to myself. I hope I'm not being scammed. And then I started getting like my stomach. It felt like my stomach was knotting up, and I could not go to sleep. And I was like, I just kept having that feeling. And I was like, man, I hope I'm not getting scammed. I hope I am not being scammed. That's all I kept saying to myself. And guys, I have like missed several hours of sleep. I have missed several hours of sleep on this because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I hope I'm not being scammed. I hope I'm not being scammed. So this guy, which because the detectives, I've even given the phone numbers to the detectives, and I say, oh, they will answer their phone for me. They will answer their phone because anytime I call, because I was like, I told them, I'm just making sure I'm not being scammed. He was like, oh, you're not being scammed, da 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 da. So I'm just keeping it cool, but whatever information, and when I get this money, I'm not for sure what the address is going to be on the package, because I was going to provide that to the attorney and to the detectives to see what they could possibly do to catch these people. But yeah, they supposedly went to this military post office. I looked it up last night to figure out who the address belonged to. To me, that's kind of advantage of being a real estate investor. I'm able to do those things and find out who owns what property. So it's actually a military post office. So I was telling my husband, I was like, I think they might be in the military, and they're doing stuff and they're scamming people, but nobody knows that they're doing this. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so today is the actual big day. And I was like, Lord, I'm never doing anything like this. This is definitely a big lesson learned for me going forward. And like Dominic told me, he was like, why you stop asking questions? Why you stop asking questions? And me, when people are busy, I don't want to, feel like, not saying that I'm a burden, but if you're busy, I don't want to keep, coming to you or da 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 da, the case may be. But never stop asking questions. Schedule a time or just figure something out to get the answers you need, guys, to avoid things like this.
Always ask court. There's never listen. Like, I don't care if you blow on my phone. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? I just don't answer, right? But eventually,
you're gonna get in the code now.
Eventually you're getting it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't want to see any of you get scammed out of some money, right? Especially when it comes to something like that. Like, hey, before you make a decision, when it comes to something like that financially, just run it by me and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm thinking about. What do you think, this is coming from XYZ? Because like we got to get to the bottom of it when it comes to cameras, man. And they out here.
Yes, they are.
They out here. And not just people on the internet. Like there are people that locally that will scam you out of your money. And so you just got to be very careful. So, I share something that transpired, and this was I want to say this was back in like 2015, 2016, and I never forget it. We used a contractor that was out of state because my partner, she's from New York. And so she had this contractor in New York that, I mean, he travels, he goes to Pennsylvania, he comes to Virginia. And so, he gave us a heck of a deal on doing the work, right? So, all right, cool. All right, let's rock with them. And so we did that. We started using them, and you know what I'm saying? It started out great. We was paying them, in installments. And so, long story short, we ended up paying this guy, and he was a no-show. stopped answering the phones. Now, mind you, he's in another state, right? But he would come down. He had an RV. He would come down, stay in his RV, in his camper, and work on the property. And I had a gut feeling that this wasn't a good decision to make. But because my partner knew him, and he was, dating her sister at the time, but it was a big mess. So kind of find out he was living two lives. He was married. I mean, it was a whole bunch of stuff that came out the fan.
Wow.
And we were $16,000 that he owed us because he didn't do the work. And we had to get somebody else to do the work. Right. And Laisha, you talk about those knots in your stomach, right? I remember being so stressed about that transaction because I'm like, yo, we got to finish this deal and we done paid this man his money. So I start getting on the phone. I start calling my homies that are police officers. And I'm like, yo, listen, I need you to call somebody in the FBI. We need to track this guy down. Like, I need you to scare him. Like, I know it was totally out of their jurisdiction, but I was like, I need you to call him. I need you to say whatever you need to say to scare this guy, to let him know that, he need to come down here, either finish the job or give us our money back. And one day in prayer, this right here, what I'm about to say, one day in prayer, God said, release the debt. Like, just forget about it. And I remember sitting down with my partners. We had a meeting at IHOP. I never forget it. And I said to them, I said, listen, I said, I know you all not going to be able to, y'all not going to believe what I'm about to say, but God said, release the debt. Let it be. Let's stop, because we were spending so much energy pursuing this guy, trying to get, the work done or the money, whatever the case may be. And it's stressful when you're trying to go after somebody that's not even responding, right? Like, he won't respond. We won't get nothing. We're calling from multiple phone numbers, and it just wasn't happening. But that's what we did. We ended up just saying, forget it. I think I sent them a text message, right? And say, listen, man, we gonna forgive the debt. We gonna wipe our hands. We done with it. We're gonna move on. You don't owe us no money. Have a good life, right? And we ended up paying somebody else. We ended up paying. This was $16,000. This is not $16, right? We ended up paying somebody else to finish a job, and we ended up selling the house, and we still made about $42,000 in profit, but it would have been $56,000 or $58,000 rather if we would have, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it was a lesson learned. I learned from that day never, ever use somebody that's out of town, that's not local when it comes to your repair. So that was my lesson learned from that transaction. But we'll always find ourselves in these types of situations from time to time. And it's how you respond to it that matters, right? Mm-hmm. How you respond to the situation. So, y'all, it's 7:55. Thank y'all so much. Lita, anything you want to share? Good to see you on a call this morning. You good? All right, well, listen, you all have an amazing day. God bless y'all. And looking forward to some great input in the chat from you all telling us what y'all doing this week. Fasha, go ahead and do your thing with that Carolina property with your family. And Jamel, good work, man. But listen, proud of all of you. Continue to be great. And we'll get back to you on same time, same place, Monday, 7 a.m. All right. God bless y'all. Peace.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye.
All right.